I guess it's time to tell another story. Someone asked me the other day, like, what's one of the craziest things I was ever arrested for? Which I'm not proud to say I've been arrested a lot, and I haven't been that much, but several times, like when I was younger, and then also while in the midst of like a 4-year drinking binge a few years back. And I had a notorious habit for like hooking up with a chick and moving in the next day and staying until she was like, get out of here. It was usually about 6 months at a time, which I do not advise anybody to do. It's no way to live. You may be sitting there drunk, like thinking you're a pimp and all that, but in the end, I promise you, I got glasses. You can trust me. It's no way to live. So I was with this one. Her name was Lauren, and like, man, it was getting towards the end. You know, like I knew it was about to be done. Like I wore my time out, and so I got really day drunk while she was at work one time. I think I had like 7 of those 8% My Carter lemonades, and I also, my name's Chuck. Drunk Chuck left me a pint of whiskey and half of a box wine thing in the shed, you know, and I found it and I was like, thanks, Drunk Chuck. Like, I'm gonna get tore up today, and I don't know. I knew I had to get out of there, so I'm getting real smashed. She's blowing me up. She knows I'm drunk because, like, it's obvious when someone's drunk. And it was about 4 o'clock, so I knew she'd be there in about 30 minutes. I was like, man, if I just go to sleep, she may nag and all that, but I won't hear it. I'll wake up tomorrow. She'll be mad. She'll love me. She'll buy me some more beer, cigars. Everything will be cool, you know? Well, that's not how it went. Like, you know, when you're drunk, you lose track of time and stuff. And I remember laying down, you know, the ceiling was like 4 of them. And I was like, oh, crap, I got to pee. So, like, I get up to pee, and then bam, there she is. I was like, this is not good. And I think it's about 30 seconds later, you know, a big old Yankee candle came in my head, busted it. And, like, then she had a knife, and she was throwing plates and stuff at me. And, you know, I was pretty nervous. And, like, I've never hit a woman, and I never will. But this particular day, while she was throwing all that stuff at me, like, you know, she's yelling, walking around the house, I could remember, like, all of a sudden I'd be outside and I'd realized I'd lost like 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm blacking out. I got to do something. So in my drunken mind, the best thing to do was like take off running down the street. And I was going to call the cops on myself. And so I'm barefoot. I run about 2 blocks down the street. I probably look like a crazy crackhead, but I was drunk, you know, I was falling, but she didn't see me. So that was good. And I went to this little gas station. It was connected to like a laundromat. You know, I walked in the store, I got 2 more Mike's Harder lemonades. Why? I don't know. But then I went and sat on the side of that laundromat, and I opened one and I drank, and I contemplated like, man, I should do this. And so I called the cops. I'm like, hey, I'm really drunk and I want to die and stuff. Like, come arrest me, you know? And they're like, okay, whatever, we'll be right there. And some time went on. All of a sudden, I saw the cop cars. So I walk out, they're like, hey, man, it's me. I'm the drunk one. And there's like 3 of them, you know, and they're laughing like, hey, what's up, buddy? You okay? Because typically, you know, you call the cops on yourself, they really try to get you into the hospital and give you some help. But I wasn't trying to hear that. Like, all I could say was like, look, man, if I go to the hospital, she's going to find me. And like, she's going to bring me back and she's going to kill me. And they were laughing. And I was like, do I have to do something crazy? And they're like, now calm down. And they were still trying to talk me in the hospital. So finally I just started, you know, F this, F that, blah, 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 blow up your car, whatever. And then they arrested me. And after they cuffed me up and threw me in the car, I just instantly was like, hey guys, I'm so sorry I did that. I don't mean none of that stuff. You're probably all very nice, well-rounded gentlemen, and I just have to go to jail, because if I don't, like, she's gonna find me, you know? And they were laughing like, dude, you're so crazy. I was like, I know, man, I'm drunk. I gotta stop living this life. I need help and all that stuff. And so get down to booking, you know, I can't even stand. I don't know. They just kind of threw me in the drunk tank. And I woke up the next morning and, you know, I hurt so bad, dude. I was so hungover, like, of course, I drank all the time, but, you know, when you're in jail, you ain't got as much water as you want. It sucks. And I woke up like, oh, man. And so they're processing me out. And I'm thinking I'm done, you know, because I had gotten a PI when I was younger. But it turns out you got to go to court for PIs and all that, which whatever. I'll get to that in a minute. And, you know, I'm like, I'm done, right? And they're like, no, you got to see a judge. And I was like, oh, man. And they were like, hey, man, that girl called up here like 10 times last night. I was like, oh, no. I was like, did y'all like tell her I wasn't here? And they're like, we can't do that and all this. So I got my little brown sack, and I'm walking out the public entrance, and I look around, I don't see anything, and then I turn around the corner, and bam, there she is. She's like, get your ass in this car. I got you some Jack in the Box, 3 tall boys, and some cigars. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, and so I hopped right on back in, and like that night it was the same story, you know, but I ended up running down the street somewhere else. And but after about a week, I finally bailed out of there. I went up to Arkansas to visit my real father, and I got to escape her for a little bit, but then I had to come back to my hometown, which is Denison. And, you know, of course I had an FTA for that ticket, and I was still drinking at this time. So I get a new court date. I go up to the court a little bit drunk, and I don't know what I was thinking, man. I'm a different person on alcohol. Like, I don't wish this on anybody. And I went up to the judge, and they're like, how do you plead? And I was like, well, I plead, like I saved y'all some time and money and did you a favor for calling the cops on myself. Because if not, I would have died or like bad things would have happened. Pretty much the judge wasn't too cool with that, and that did not work. And they gave me the maximum $1,000 fine, and like I'm still paying off this ticket because once I sobered up, for the most part back in 2020, I started realizing I had all these tickets everywhere. And yeah, man, so I don't know. Moral of the story, don't go on a 4-year drinking binge, don't live with random girls, and don't call the cops on yourself and just acquire all these tickets, man, because it's not worth it. It was so stupid. And when I look back today, thinking about it, like today, in my right state of mind, I would never do something like that, and I don't know. It was just nuts. Like, who the hell calls the cops on themselves? Like, I do, because that wasn't the only time I did it. And I'll tell you about another time, another day, because I really got to go pee, and I got some cheeseburgers ready to eat. All right, thanks, bye. Have a great day and all that good stuff. Bye.